You may have heard about this earlier this week. The Boy Scouts of America announced they are changing their name starting next year. The organization will go by the name Scouting America. People visiting their website were greeted by this pop-up message that explained the rebranded to reflect the organization's ongoing commitment to welcome every youth and family in America. Now, the announcement comes as the organization is celebrating the 5th anniversary of welcoming girls into scouting, but some folks online are not happy about the push for inclusivity. In fact, one person commented on X, quote, "Another institution that was great for boys to learn how to become men has been destroyed by wokeness." So what do you think of the name change, the backlash? What would you say, Jeff?
This one's, listen, I get it. My 2 older brothers were in Boy Scouts. My dad, I believe, was involved at some point. I was in an accident 5 years later and never got into that stuff. Explains a lot. But I know it helped them out, right? And I grew up in the Catholic Church. Again, both instances, never a story, you know, nothing scarring. And I know millions of kids grew up with that, and it really helped them out. Times change, though, and information changes. And me being a father now of 2, I don't know if I would enlist my boys just because of the past and the history they have. And that goes for the Catholic Church as well. I don't think altar boys should be around. Again, probably helped a lot of young people that had experiences. But just doing the math and the numbers, I don't want to expose my kids to that percentage, as low as it might be. Right. I don't want them exposed. I feel like it's up to me to protect them from that. I don't do sleepovers. I don't do things where they're not really with people I don't know who they are. I understand it's life and things happen. You got to let them kind of do their thing. But if I could protect them from any sort of circumstance that might occur, I believe that's my job as a father.
I think that's beautifully said.
Yeah.
You agree as well. I just want to give the numbers just because we have them. Over 130 million boys and girls have participated in the youth programs of the Boy Scouts of America and Girl Scouts. But in over 50 years, there have been approximately 84,000 sexual abuse claims.
That we know of.
That we know of, right, exactly. So is this rebrand, and again, my uncle was the youngest Eagle Scout in America at one point. They do a lot for people's confidence, but is this rebrand a cover-up for, you were speaking about it, the tarnish that is on the Boy Scouts of America?
Would you, Sam, let Sophie join the whatever this new organization is?
Scouting America.
So Sophie is in the Girl Scouts.
Right.
And listen, they meet with their troop leader for an hour by themselves, meaning like it's a bunch of girls and a troop leader. I'm just going to be honest here, would not have allowed her to do Girl Scouts if the troop leader is one of my best friends and I trust her inherently. If it was some rando, no, I would not, because it's literally they're by themselves with this troop leader for an hour. Anything could happen. So even though I teach my daughter things about, you know, consent, here's the thing, to Jeff's point, to the statistics, even if you try and do everything under the sun to protect them, your child could be one of those statistics. So I'm going to do everything in my power, like Jeff said, to try and protect my child.
I think it's interesting that we're in this age now where you hear parents say, I'm not letting my kids do a sleepover, and you don't have a bunch of adults saying, are you crazy? You're coddling your kids. I think the thing is, guys, we've all seen the stats, and whether it's it could be a music teacher, just any adult that's alone with your kids, it's going to give you cause for concern, sadly, because we've seen enough of these stories told. And I think the Boy Scouts are telling us themselves that it's been a problem, because this is a major rebrand. You think about like when Domino's Pizza rebranded, they just went with Domino's because Domino's Pizza is a brand that they've put all their eggs into. Right. When you decide to get rid of your entire name for the most part or jumble it around like that,
it's a PR move.
Yeah, it's a PR move, but you're basically trying to almost scrub from you know, everybody's memories all the things that come along with the Boy Scouts of America. So it lets you know that they see it as a major problem as well. You don't just throw your name away after half a century of branding.
I do want to say too, really important, something that I've educated myself on with my children is learning the difference between a safe adult and a non-safe adult. And of course I consulted with like child psychologists about this, but it's really important to teach your child, if an adult tells you to keep a secret, that is not a safe adult. Right. And there's a number of scenarios you can go through with your child and practice with them, so they understand if an adult's like, hey, come here, I got a secret for you, right away that's a red flag. So I think that's important for kids to have their own agency too. Of course, we are their protectors, but there's going to be times where they are at school. Go ahead.
Well,
sorry.
That's my question to you guys. I'm not a parent. I want to make that clear. When is it important, and I don't have a lot of time, but to have your kid face that on their own, like face the world without you there? Because that's what
unfortunately
scares
they're
me.
going to face it every day, whether it's catcalling, whether it's, I mean, there's so much of it out there.
No, I just wanted to quickly add that, I think it's important for little boys and little girls to find their own identity. I'm all for inclusivity and letting everyone do their own thing, but I have 2 little boys, and our next door neighbor, we live in a cul-de-sac, and boys and girls are very different. They age different, they're mature different, their aggression levels are different. Boys and girls are different, and I know people want to push that everyone is the same these days, and again, I'm all for inclusivity, but they're not, and that's just a fact, and girls have to do their own thing, and later on in life, if they choose something else, same as boys, that's fine, but you got to let them do their own thing. You can't just force them into this organization and then kind of ignore your past and saying, we're rebranding and this is never going to happen again. So that's kind of my concern.
Well said.